Hi, my name is Lesley Coffin, and today we're going to be talking in the Mary Sue spoiler report about 10 Cloverfield Lane, the new film from Dan Trachtenberg from Paramount Pictures, which stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead, John Gallagher Jr., and John Goodman. So instead of doing a regular review where you have to give a little bit of details about what the film actually is about, we decided it would be better to introduce this film review as a spoiler report. So if you haven't seen the film yet, we highly recommend that you go see it, and I can say that without reservation. This movie is more of a thriller, and it has none of the shaky cam video tactics. Sort of like what was done with the movies The Purge, which this is the only time we'll ever be comparing the two movies. This movie takes a different look at life from another part of the world. So while the Purge movies looked at high class and lower class, Cloverfield films looked at urban setting and now rural settings. John Gallagher Jr., Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and John Goodman, all three give incredible performances. And I don't just mean incredible performances in genre movies that have seen a lot of less impressive performances, which isn't fair either because we know that that's not an exception to the rule. It's three people interacting, trying to figure out who the other one is all the time. There are constant suspicions, there are constant allies. Who do you trust? Who don't you trust? It's really interesting for the first 2/3 of this movie just to try and figure out who are these people. The realization that John Goodman is both a doomsday sayer who turned out to be right and probably someone who held a child captive is an incredibly strong reveal. And that change totally affects the movie. Suddenly things that John Goodman would have been saying earlier in the film are way more threatening. My favorite scene in the movie is the one where John Gallagher Jr. and Mary Elizabeth Winstead talk and confess the things that they have done when they've been scared. So then to have John Gallagher Jr. really fight for his friend, stand up to someone and try and save her and risk his own life, to then have that death is powerful. And everyone seemed to be taken aback by it in the theater. No one seemed to expect that John Goodman would kill John Gallagher Jr. and in that way. Once things have changed, once John Goodman is coming in and starting to threaten Mary Elizabeth Winstead with the sexual violence I mentioned, again, they hold back in a way that I really respect. That was chilling to watch. I was unnerved most of the time that he was in that when he was in that bedroom, but when he came in with ice cream, my back was shivering, and I really felt the desire to get her out of the room. And then of course you have the escape with what might be the most creative way, a shower curtain as a gas protector. I'm still not sure what the science of that idea is. However, the air mask was a brilliant invention. I'm not sure it was a wise idea for her to take the air mask off, but when she realizes that there are birds above her, it's a great moment. And then we get aliens. There are aliens, and there's a little teeny tiny monster who's trying to attack Mary Elizabeth Winstead character. And much the way she seems disbelieved that it keeps happening. She just got out. She just survived this monster. And now there's another monster and another monster. Those are great, great moments of screen. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is an actress who is sort of made for close-ups. And she is so expressive in those scenes when she's terrified, that the terror that goes across her face when she sees the monster, when she sees the spaceship above her, it could have played out ridiculous. And instead, it plays out really well. We don't see a lot of the alien, and I'm very curious about how they'll do another Cloverfield if they end up getting the chance, because I feel like at a certain point they're going to have to start showing us more. But What we see of the alien spacecraft and the little shadowy image of the Cloverfield alien in this film really was effective. He comes out, he's swirling around like a little varmint, but you know, that thing is deadly. That thing could kill her easily. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead is a great fighter and clever and figured out a way which I would never have figured out, of how to kill an alien. Basically, a Molotov cocktail thrown at an alien really works well to create an explosion. Who knew? What'll be interesting is whether or not they continue the theme of focusing on different areas if they continue the Cloverfield series. I hope they don't, because I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead is incredibly good in this movie, and I like her character a lot. In fact, I'd want to see more about her and see how she evolves from the girl that we see at the beginning of the movie, who fights back against her captor and defeats an alien, who could potentially become a hero for the entire universe. This movie has a great look. They use angles beautifully, and considering it's shot all in one space, essentially, a couple of rooms, they use angles, they use lighting, they use music to create a sense of space that is more evocative than the original. I think this movie is totally worth seeing, and I hope more people go see it. More importantly, I hope more people see it more than once, because I think the conversations that this movie could potentially evoke about fear and intimidation that's used by some of the characters, how we react to it, is going to be the more interesting conversations than just how this is connected to the franchise. So that's it for Spoiler Talk this time. I hope that you enjoyed our conversation, and make sure and post comments about your thoughts on the film if you saw it.